What does it take to challenge an entire government? Well, for Ai Weiwei, the answer was very simple. It was art. Whether that was a painting or a sculpture or a mural, he knew that art was a way and an effective way to challenge the government of China. He is one of the most fearless critics of the Chinese state. Ai was born in Beijing in 1957. His father, Ai Ching, was China's most celebrated and famous poet. Well, this was until the government decided that his words were too dangerous. Over time, the family was exiled and moved to a labor camp in the Gobi Desert. Here, Ai learned two things that shaped his entire life. Firstly, that power fears the truth. And secondly, that truth can disappear if nobody fights for it. These early hardships weren't just a memory for him. They became the foundation and very important to his future life. From the beginning of his career, Ai refused to make safe or traditional art that would not intervene with the government of China. In his famous piece, Dropping a Han Dynasty Urn, he let a 2,000-year-old ceremonial vase crash to the floor and completely break. Many people saw this as an act of vandalism, but he saw it as more of a what is worth more, the object or the history behind it. In his opinion, this act brought more attention to this piece and allowed the piece to show its history. In one of his most famous pieces, Sunflower Seeds, he covered the Tate Modern's floor with 100 million hand-painted, handcrafted sunflower seeds, each created by a Chinese artisan. From far, they looked uniform and all together, but up close, each different sunflower seed was unique, and the message that he was trying to portray was evident. The message was that individuals matter, even in a sea of sameness, in a sea of where everybody is together. One individual does matter. And then came the work Remembering. After the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, which killed thousands of children in many poorly built schools, the government tried to hide these names and hide these children, whereas Ai collected them one by one and displayed them on a mural on a German museum using 9,000 different colored backpacks. They spelt out a mother's words. She lived happily in this world for 7 years. This kind of describes how Ai's art doesn't just decorate galleries and please people's eyes. It confronts and provokes and demands answers from the government of China and from people. And then in 2011, he was confronted by the Chinese government. So Ai was arrested at the Beijing airport, officially under the charge of tax evasion, but unofficially it was because of embarrassing the Chinese government. He spent 81 days in secret detention with no charges, and when he was released, he was under constant surveillance, and his entire studio was bulldozed. Most people at this point would have gone silent, but Ai didn't. He turned this detention cell into art, with 2 guards who never left his side. He posted police visits online, and he used this story kind of as proof of what the system tries to hide. So Ai Weiwei's artwork is a very controversial topic because of its intersection with politics and human rights. So some people regard him as a courageous man, regard his artwork as kind of a funnel or like a protest to portray to the Chinese government that these people want freedom and justice. On the other hand, maybe people a part of the Chinese government or related to the Chinese government would claim that his art is a way to disturb or tarnish the image of China. For example, to them, during the death of thousands of people during the earthquake, they would see that Weiwei is using this death to exploit he's exploiting these deaths. He's using the death of these people to create fame and topics for his artwork. In both Ai Weiwei Story and Night by Elie Wiesel, a demonstration of the danger in society of hiding the truth and controlling stories and news is seen. In Night, Wiesel describes how Nazi power relied on propaganda and violence in order to cover the reality of the Holocaust and make these people seem powerless. Similarly, Ai Weiwei does this through art for events that the Chinese government suppressed, like, again, the thousands of deaths of children during the Sichuan earthquake. Just as Wiesel felt he must speak out about injustice, so does Ai, where he risks censorship and arrest, obviously, and exile just to tell the truth. In conclusion, Ai's work is banned in China, not because it only depicts beauty, because it reflects reality and contests the government's authority. It incites people to think independently without always and constant influence from the government. His art